All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are going deep into the world of trauma to uncover what might be its most damaging and yet most hidden wound.
So when you think about the effects of trauma, what's the first thing that pops into your head? What do you think is really the deepest, most lasting wound?
You probably think of the physical stuff, right? That jumpiness, always being on alert, the anxiety. And yeah, those things are absolutely a huge part of it. They can be debilitating, but they aren't the deepest wound.
Turns out, the most damaging consequence, the deepest wound of all, isn't really in the body. It's in our sense of self. It's a simple, four-letter word, shame. This is a hidden force that can run, and honestly, ruin a person's entire life without them even realizing it's there.
Now, shame is a really tricky word. A lot of us think we don't really deal with it, but what if it's been quietly pulling the strings in our lives the whole time?
So, to really get a handle on its power, we have to start by separating it from another word we tend to mix it up with all the time, guilt. They sound similar, but they are worlds apart.
This right here is the whole ball game. Guilt is all about your actions. It's the feeling that says, I did something bad. Shame, on the other hand, cuts way deeper. It's about your identity. It's the core belief that I am bad. See the difference? It's huge.
Think of guilt like a helpful alarm system. Sure, it's a negative feeling, nobody likes it, but it's actually designed to be a positive motivator. It's your brain saying, hey, that thing you did, it caused harm. Let's fix it. You can actually do something about guilt. You can apologize, you can change your behavior.
Shame is completely different. It's not an alarm about an action. It's a painful core belief that you, as a person, are fundamentally broken, that you're not valuable, not lovable, not good enough. And because it's about who you are, not what you did, it feels like a dead end. I mean, how do you fix being bad?
So where does a belief this painful even come from? Well, the source material for this explainer uses a really powerful metaphor to explain it, and it's called the House of Mirrors.
Let's start with a really basic question. How does a little kid figure out their identity? How do they learn if they have any value in this world?
A child isn't born with a sense of self. They're constantly, subconsciously asking one question. Am I lovable? Do I matter? And to get that answer, they look to the most powerful people in their world, their parents. Their caregivers basically become a mirror. And whatever that mirror reflects back at them, well, that becomes their unshakable truth.
Now, in a healthy, loving home, that mirror is clean and clear. It consistently reflects a beautiful message back to the child. You have value just because you exist, you are lovable, you matter to me. That child, well, they grow up believing it.
But in a home where there's trauma, neglect, abuse, that mirror is distorted. It's like a funhouse mirror, you know? It reflects a warped, painful, and false image back to the child. You are worthless, you're a burden. And because it's the only mirror they've ever known, the child believes that twisted reflection is the absolute truth of who they are.
And this is where the real damage gets locked in. That distorted reflection isn't something they leave behind in childhood. It becomes an internal belief that follows them right into adulthood.
So that brings up a really important question. What actually happens when you spend your entire life trying to navigate the world while trusting a broken mirror? Well, the impact is massive. When someone gives you a compliment, you just brush it off because it doesn't match that internal broken reflection. You might become a people pleaser, constantly trying to perform to earn the value you don't believe you have. Or maybe a perfectionist, terrified that one little mistake will finally expose you as the failure you believe you are. Okay, I know this all sounds pretty heavy, but here's the most important part of this whole explainer. That distortion is not a life sentence. It is absolutely possible to heal and to finally find your true reflection.
So, how in the world do you start to heal a lifetime of seeing yourself through a broken mirror? Where do you even begin?
You know, our gut instinct is often to be harder on ourselves. We think if we just criticize ourselves enough, we'll change. But the research, time and time again, shows that the most powerful engine for real growth isn't criticism. It's self-compassion. It's kindness. So here's a practical way forward. First, you have to recognize that negative voice in your head for what it is, a lie from that old distorted mirror. Second, you have to actively replace those lies with the truth, that you have inherent value. Third, choose to treat yourself with respect, even and especially when you don't feel like it. And finally, and this is so important, find new, accurate mirrors, safe, supportive people who reflect your true worth back to you.
And that really brings us to the final, and I think most powerful idea here. Healing from shame isn't about this exhausting struggle to become some different, better person. It's actually just about clearing away all the lies and distortions so you can finally see and embrace the valuable person you have always been.